Standard & Poor's and Fitch are set to publish their updates on South Africa's sovereign credit rating today. The announcements will be made after the local market closes. Now, analysts largely believe the country's rating won't go down to junk status and make it more expensive for the government to borrow money. But there are concerns that if South Africa doesn't get its house in order next year, a junk status rating could become a reality.
Some analysts believe Fitch will be the one to strike South Africa with a credit downgrade, with expectations that Standard & Poor's won't make any moves this time around. Fitch currently has the country's credit rating at BBB, while Standard & Poor's has the rating at BBB-.
Fitch has a negative outlook on South Africa, whereas S&P has a stable outlook. You'll recall it was just 6 months ago that S&P actually downgraded us. So in order to see Fitch actually downgrade us, it's really just coming in line with S&P in many respects.
Nala reckons that probability is high following Fitch's recent comments about the country's debt levels. In his mid-term budget speech in October, Finance Minister Nhlanhla Nene outlined that public debt as a proportion of gross domestic product would rise from the current 41.9% to 45.9% by fiscal year 2017 to 2018. More broadly, there's a concern about the country's slow growth trajectory.
The risk is there that we are going to be downgraded, and the two reasons are mainly that we've had a weaker economic growth than what was expected, so that affects the budget, that affects our ability to actually pay or fund further growth in future. The second issue is that we've had a number of structural issues that have been plaguing us for a number of years. Firstly, more recently, the issue of electricity. I think that brings about a lot of challenges for businesses that may want to actually invest in South Africa.
One challenge on government's horizon is its pending negotiations with public sector workers over wage hikes. They want a 15% rise. Government says it can only afford an inflation-related increase. Analysts say if government doesn't stick to its target and succumbs to union pressure, it will have a direct impact on rising debt levels, which would likely give ratings agencies more ammunition to move the sovereign credit rating to junk later next year. If that were to happen, it would exclude South African bonds from a number of capital markets, making it very difficult, if not expensive, to raise debt for government's much-needed expansion programs. Nompumelelo Siziba, SABC News, Johannesburg.